You know, in this Fun 160 series, I've shown off a lot of fun ways to play. And one thing I never talk about is constructors. There's no evil reason for it. It's the fact that constructor gameplay is very passive. You're just putting down a base, buffing your builds, getting bits on Twitch, and it's a very slow defensive way to play. Now, a lot of people love that. It's a super casual way to go. It's super effective as well. Base Kyle is excellent just for making your walls super thick, and it's a great way to play. Constructors are one of the best classes in the entire game, and I just haven't shown it because it's not entertaining. But this time, I'm going to do it. Now, if you want a good constructor loadout, this is the reason that video does not exist on my channel, because you can use any of the 6 constructors. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. Any of the 6 constructors that I'm showing here. Power Base is the exact same as Power Base Nox, by the way. He's the base game hero. I just use her because she's kind of a flex. Not a hero you can get anymore. Thunder Thora is not that useful in the 160s. I'll be using her anyway. Base Kyle's super great. Then we've got Fully Contained. Again, not going to be doing that much in the 160s, but if you're using this build just for like lower levels especially, it's really great. And then Frozen Castle is also amazing. You can use any one of these constructors in the lead and still have a great time. My top recommendations are Ice King for freezing enemies. Then you've got Base for protecting the walls. Then you've got Power Base, Nox, Penny, whoever you've got, just for healing them extra fast. I'm going to be using Mega Base in the lead to expand as much coverage as I can for my base, and supercharged traps, because 8.5%, let me pull up my calculator real quick here, times every single constructor in support is a 42.5% damage bonus to every single trap attached to a tile affected by the base. That is a huge bonus. That's a really nice thing to have, and it's a really fun way to play. So I'm going to ask my team to let my trap tunnels do the work this game and see how it goes. All right, so this would normally be the part of the video where I run around getting gameplay, showing off the loadout, but this is, of course, not a damage loadout. And I'm going to decide today, I'm just going to use the most cliche basic bitch constructor build you could have. Just a Xenon bow, a Baron, and a plasmatic discharger. Just the most basic things you could do. Now, I'm going to build before the bomb gets here, just in the interest of time, because as I'm recording this, I've got a movie date, and I'm going to be late for it if I don't record right now. I'm not going to be late just by recording, but I want to get my other videos done today, because I'm being a YouTuber today. My point is, basic bitch loadout, and I just want to not recommend building before the bomb gets here. Deliver the Bomb is notorious as the kind of the glitchiest defense in the game. Sometimes you'll get the bomb here and it just won't work. So yeah, just be careful. But this is the basic layout. Upgrade the walls, it'll be hit by the zombies. These ones out here can pretty much be ignored. They're just there to protect against lobbers and flingers. It's not going to be that big of a deal, I don't believe. Now, normally I'd put the traps down right now, but it occurs to me that we're not going to know where the spawns are indefinite. Like, we're not going to definitely know where they're spawning until the bomb actually gets here. So I'll just pause now that we've got a little bit of setup here. And, well, actually here, let me do the thing that would happen no matter what. So normally I'd put, like, tar pits up against the walls, but we don't have any space for that. Right here would be good, but I think floor freeze would be better fitting if that's where the enemies are going to come from. Also, fun fact, this is the exact same location I've gotten not only all day today, but this is the exact same location we had in the room sweeper video. Link to that down below. And one other video, I think it was a double boiler video, but instead, our B bomb was on A and our A bomb was up here. So yeah, link to those videos down below and you'll recognize this map layout. I'm going to wait for the bomb to get here and I'll check in a second. All right, now that the bomb is docked, we can fix that hole right there and then just sort of see where the spawns are going to be. It looks like they're all on this backside, and that is super easy. So here's what I'm going to do. That cactus will get destroyed on its own. Again, I'm building out of metal because even though it's a nature mission, the enemies shouldn't be smacking the floor, and propanes don't have elements. So the propanes will blow up the floor if that's going to happen, but shouldn't really be too much of a problem. My teammates already know where I'm going to put these, so that's super convenient. And this is where scaffolding comes into play. So this video is going to be obviously a constructor video, but like kind of an unofficial like trap guide. I do have a trap guides playlist for those interested in learning how to trap more better. It's a really good playlist. I stopped making the videos because I feel like I mostly said all the things and I didn't really know what else to add. I've covered every mission type multiple times now, and I think that's pretty complete. So feeling pretty good about that series, but if you guys want more of those, let me know. I'm not the best trapper in the world or anything dramatic like that, but I do have an idea of what I'm doing. I've been at this game for quite a few years now. And if you're going to play Constructor, especially with supercharged traps the way I am, this is what you want to do. Now, another good thing for me to do right about now is to put my actual base down, because we want to know which tiles that's going to connect to. That's why I connected these walls as well. You can see those wall darts will actually be buffed by the base, doing 42.5% more damage. And my floor freeze won't do more damage, but being protected by the base will give them all of the other benefits. Bases by default give your builds 40% more armor, and we've got fully contained healing them. We've got power modulation healing them, and lofty architecture buffing the health. Yeah, fully contained just makes it so that they take damage when they damage us. I'm going to buff all these because this is where propanes can happen, and I think this northeast side is almost entirely locked down. I'm going to protect these walls just because things like to be annoying. And this is where you can actually get a little creative. So I have rediscovered wall dynamos lately. Wall dynamos are really good for these slopes because they have much wider area of effect than wall darts. They won't bounce around like the cannonade. No, not the cannonade. The broadside will. Man, I'm getting names mixed up left and right. But the wall darts, wall dynamo, my goodness, will be a lot better for these slopes just because they'll have more of effect. I don't know if these will connect to the base. You won't see it light up until it's finished building, but that'll be a good position either way. And that's a very over-trapped northeast side. But hey, when you ask your entire team to not shoot stuff until it gets through your tunnel, you kind of want to come correct. Now, I'm placing backwards just like I did with the tire traps because I don't want to... I want to make it directional. So when you face a certain direction, they will stagger backwards. So if they freeze here, they might stumble back off this edge. I doubt they'll go all the way off the edge, but it's worth considering that you want them to be stumbling at least away from your defense. Then we've got a whole bunch of ceiling electric fields, ceiling electric field, ceiling electric field, just because it's a great trap to have. This wall will probably get destroyed, but I might as well put some extra wall darts in there, and then wall darts are good because of that extra range, so we can just have them facing into each other. I'm actually gonna put wall dynamo here just because I like the idea of that just being, you know, used in some capacity. I rediscovered the trap and now I think it's fun, so just put that on either end. And that is a very over trapped area. I dig it. So that's actually good here. So we can do wall dynamo because it'll kind of go up the edge here. Wall dynamo, wall dynamo, wall dynamo. Just squeeze it in everywhere it goes. This is, by the way, very over trapped. This is very very overkill for what we're doing, especially with supercharged traps, but I'm just having fun. I want to see an objective. I'm going to start the defense right now that doesn't need any shooting. So I might have to take out flingers or lobbers as needed, but I want to see lots of damage numbers and see what this can do. So if any other teammates, oh, I think they're all soldiers. Did you all run soldier when I asked you not to shoot? What the hell? They're all soldiers. Okay. All right. Let's see how this does. So we got a big target coming in. Yeah, wall darts everywhere. The tires doing damage up and down. That's why 3 tiles high is very important, because the more they bounce, the more damage they'll do. I didn't realize there was a ramp over there, so oops on my part, but that shouldn't really matter because they're still going to walk into the tunnel. You can see just how well defended that is. No, Iwari, no. She's using a midnight stalker sniper. Oh, God. What was that? So now they're going to break in, and it should be completely fine because the floor freeze are still going to push them in that direction, and they're still going to get hit by the wall darts and everything in between. Is that wall dart going to miss the nurse? Yeah. So that is one of the reasons I've been kind of favoring the wall dynamo. It has so much range that it can hit the nurse even in that position. It looks like she's kind of invincible in that spot. She got stumbled into a location that was hit by this wall dart, and that's, again, where the tire trap's facing. Stumbling them this direction is very important. And if you actually watch where the enemies are getting hit, they're getting stumbled and stalled very much so. I'm not going to patch that wall, though, because of what you just saw happening. The wall traps are going to do damage, and this is going to knock them all down. And then that wall back there is actually stopping the tire traps to make it more effective versus hitting the enemy over and over, because it's going to knock them into that back wall, and then the tires are going to keep bouncing against that back wall, doing more and more and more damage. As for this other side, it looks like it's been getting handled fairly well. I don't think we put a ceiling trap over here. Maybe I did and forgot. But it looks like... Oh, hey, there's somebody's war cry ending. I didn't put a wall trap. Oh, I did, up there, yeah. So it looks like this trap is working completely fine. It already seems the need to back us up on that one, but I think it's going to be just fine. You can see it's doing plenty of work right here, knocking stuff out as it goes. I am going to kill myself being very reckless, but I'm still in a good position because now I'm not actually impacting. So that was actually nature damage. My wall dynamo might inadvertently be nature. That was a mistake on my end. Yeah, so I built these back in the last season when it was water enemies all the time. That would be a great time to build with a nature. Right now, it would be 8% more damage to use energy. They'll do 75% to elementals as opposed to the 67 of the same element. So, slight problem there. And on my own note here, I've supercharged recently, or I've begun supercharging my Zapple Max. So I had a better trap in my inventory, but you can see it barely matters. Nothing was getting up this slope. This is, like I said, very over-trapped. But I just want to have some fun. And this is something I do sometimes. I actually did this in a recent stream, not for a video. I threw on a supercharged traps build and just went crazy. And you can see, actually, because the traps are doing so much damage, there was no help from Electropulse Penny. Ooh, man, all that damage is nice. So, like, over here, maybe, when they got up to the objective, when they smacked the walls, they took extra damage from that recoil. But it didn't seem to make too much of a difference in this fight. Oh, that's where it's actually taking effect. But in that case, you can see, look at that damage. 16,000? 16,000. Yeah, Electropulse Penny should not be used in the 160. I said this early on in the video, and I meant it. It's not that useful. Normal basic zombies might die from that, but they're going to die from your traps if you do it right, as I have done here. So, yeah, I could have swapped her for pretty much anything. Bomb suit Kyle to stay alive better, not awake. There could be damage item I could have given myself. I don't know. Like, I'm using a bow right now, so maybe Farah in support would have been more useful than that. You can also use Blast from the Past, actually. Blast from the Past constructor build is not that bad. And you can see this is just absolutely handling it. Just with a few traps down, it absolutely handles it. I probably could have placed half the traps I did here, and maybe that could be a challenge. Get away with fewer and fewer traps. You can see some of these back here only fired all of like 5 times. So if you were going to replicate this, that bottom area seemed to be almost perfect. You could have just put the tire traps and skipped all the wall darts, or wall dynamo. But yeah, it's just a fun way to play. Something to consider. A loadout you might want to try. And honestly, no matter what power level you are, if you bring a constructor to the team and put your base down, you are already being an excellent teammate. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned something. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Twitch link down below, by the way. Subscribe. All the things a YouTuber should say. And then